Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. Welcome to the stream. I am working on finishing up the container storage for the Quarry products. And I've got like one, two, three, about six more containers to build. And then the XML work. And we'll be able to go in and we should be able to test out most of the container storage, or we should be able to test all of the container storage, unless I had forgotten something. So, one I'm working on now is for gold. So we have to add it to the mod description, the gold container. We have to add it to the 110. So it'll be number 12. So that one's gold. Production line will also be gold. And then we have to add it to the factory XML. So we're going to have to add it to the input. So it'll be number 12. We have to add it to the output. So this becomes gold. Fill type becomes gold. And the container becomes gold. And then we have to build a production line for it. So it becomes number, if I can click on it, it becomes number 12. It becomes gold. Alright, so save that one. I can close those two so I can cross gold off. Alright, next one on the list is limestone. So we're going to take this container. We're going to export selection with files. We're going to go limestone container. And I'm going to leave this one open because we're going to duplicate it a couple more times. So take our coal container XML. We are going to copy it. We are going to rename it for limestone. Why did that not? What did I mess up? I messed up the i3D. Alright, let me delete that. I missed the S. So let's come back in here. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Limestone Container. That looks better. Alright, so we take our XML for limestone. We have to call it limestone. The i3D has to be limestone. And the fill type has to be limestone. So that's the XML work done. Now we have to go to textures. We need a limestone texture. And we're probably using limestone is just plain white, so I can use What do we have for? I'm gonna have to grab probably like the flower. I need something plain white. All right, let's go to Ritchieville, Fill Plains, Bone Meal Works. Let's copy this, bring it over here. Is the bone meal's pure white? We have to change it to DTX1 instead of DTX5. And then this becomes limestone. So we'll try and center that. Save it as limestone 1. And it has to be DTX5. Now our texture we're using is bone meal, so we're going to go to the limestone container. It's going to become bone meal. But our sign on the container is going to be limestone. So let's save that. Now I'm going to open it up and take a look at it and see what the texture looks like. So we have our limestone container. Let's throw a light in here real quick. And then it looks like limestone. So that's our limestone container. Now we have to go to the mod description. We have to add in the container under the store items. I've got to go to the 110. We have to add an input. So 13 becomes limestone. And then down here, 13 becomes limestone. Then we have to go to the factory. So we add an input. So let's copy this. So it becomes number 13. Change the fill type. We have to add Nikki Fizz, good morning. We have to add the output for limestone. Fill type and container. And then we have to go down and add a production line. So this becomes number 13. And that is limestone done. So I can close the XML, I can close the i3D. Let me cross that off the list. So next up is gypsum. So let's grab our container. We'll export another one. We'll call it the GYPSUM gypsum container. We'll minimize that. We're not done with it. We'll grab the coal container, XML. We will rename it gypsum container. So let's open that up. We've got to rename everything to gypsum. i3D becomes gypsum. Fill type becomes gypsum. Alright, so that's the XML done. We have to create a, let's gypsum label. So let's save that as gypsum1. And then we're going to use, since it's gypsum is white, we're going to use the bone meal texture. So let's open up the i3D. We're going to use the bone meal texture because it's pure white, but the label is going to be gypsum. So we'll save that. We'll take a quick peek at it. So there's our gypsum container. And then we have to go back to mod description. Make it gypsum. We have to add it into the 110. So let's make this 14. Make it gypsum, and then production line 14 becomes gypsum. Save that. Now, bear with me 1 second. I do not want to become famous, y'all. I love their bots first thing in the morning. Alright, so we save that. We have to go to our input. It becomes number 14. Come over here. So our input is fixed. We've got to add it to our output. So let's change this one. Change the fill type. And then change the container. And then we add it to the production line. I always change the number first because I usually forget to. So you become gypsum. You become gypsum. We can close the gypsum containers, cross it off the list, double check the name of the input gypsum. Oh, I did. Okay, I did. Did I get it? Let me. I'm still half asleep. Let's just go back up and double check. Input gypsum. Yep, I think we're good. Alright, so we've got 3 more left. Now, calcium carbonate, I always mess up the fill type on that. Let's see how it is spelled in here. Let's go control find. I think it's CC. Yeah, it's C. Oh, it's C carbonate. Okay, so it's going to be C carbonate. How do I have it? Hang on, bear with me 1 second. I want to also look in here and see if I can find it. Yeah, it's going to be, so let me double check how the alright, so it's going to be C carbonate uppercase and then C carbonate lowercase, because it's GE is, or not GE, Global Company is so case sensitive, it's crazy. So let's go File, Export. So let's go CC carbonate container. So let's save that. I'm going to leave this open because we still have like 3 more to do after calcium carbonate. I'm going to take coal. We're going to rename it. CCARBONATE. So calcium carbonate container. Change the names. And then fill type. So that should be done there. Now we have to, I'm going to use, since it's white, I'm going to use the same bone meal texture. We have to change the label. And I'm going to have to make the font a little bit smaller. Yeah, let's go down on the font a little bit on this one. And we'll take it back. Let's try it. Let's go like 44. I want to try and get it as close to 48 as I can. That'll work. Let's go File, Save As, Calcium Carbonate 1. And then we're going to take the container. We're going to use the bone meal texture since it's white. And then the label is going to be calcium carbonate. So let's save that. Let's take a quick peek at it. Yeah, there we go. So calcium carbonate just fits on the container. That works. Now let's go to mod description. So that becomes calcium carbonate. We have to add it to our inputs. Now here, do I want to spell it out or do I want to abbreviate? Let's just abbreviate it. This one doesn't have to be case sensitive. The XML has to be case sensitive. So I'll make this one also number 15. Calcium carbonate. Now inputs. So you become, oh come on, you become 15. Now this one has to be all caps. And then the fill type has to be lowercase. Or we'll get a Lua error. Alright, the output so this one has to be uppercase. Fill type has to be lowercase. And then the container has to match the name of our XML. And then we have to put a production line in. So it becomes 15. And this has to be caps. Save that. So I can close that. I can close that. Cross calcium carbonate off the list. So we only have 2 left. So let's go back to here. File, export. Next on the list, clean fill. Clean fill container. So let's grab coal. Change it to clean fill. Clean fill, clean fill, clean fill, one more. Let's save that. Now I need, what texture are we using for? Let's just go back to here. What texture are we using for clean fill? I'm thinking, does it have its own? It does have its own texture. So let's copy that, paste it here. Needs to be saved as a DTX1. And then this becomes clean fill. But I want to go back to 48 size. So clean fill 1. And now we change, where's the container? Here. So you become clean fill. And, oh, messed the spelling up. C-L-E-A-N. So you become clean fill. You become clean fill. Let's save that. Take a quick peek at the container. Yeah, so there's our clean fill. Throw a temporary light in here. Yeah, there's our clean fill container. So that's done. So we go back to our mod description. So you become clean fill. You become 16. And then we add a production line in. So you become clean fill. Go back up one more, well, this one and one more container. So one more input. Why are you over too far? Alright, so 16. Was it 16? It was 16. Alright, 16 becomes clean fill. We have to add our output. So it becomes clean fill. And then the container becomes clean fill. and production line. So you become 16. So you become clean fill. Close these two. Cross that off the list, and we just have one more container to build. Then we can start testing. Alright, so next one's going to be nutshell, but I can't remember if it's singular or plural. So I'm going to look at the fill type XML, and it's nutshell singular with a capital S. So one more container, so file, export, nutshell container. And since it's our last container, I can close that. We're going to take, I've been using coal, so we're going to take coal. And we'll rename it. Ooh, wrong way. Alright, so we have our nutshell i3d, and it's not a capital S. Crap. Alright, let me delete that. Let's open up our coal container. Let's do that one more time. File, export, nutshell. There we go. Everything has to be consistent. Alright, so now we can close that. So now we have our, let's go back down here. So nutshell container, we have to change and this is the last one, thank God. We'll check the fill types when we get back in the map, but I think I finally have all the containers built. Nutshell. Alright, so fill type's done. Alright, so let's save that. We have to go to textures. Let's grab our nutshell texture. I got to make sure it's saved as a DTX1, and then you become nutshell. So save that. And then how was our texture spelled? Nutshell with a capital S. Alright, so let's go into the i3D. And let's change our textures. So you become nutshell. You become nutshell. Alright, let's take a quick peek at it. Alright, that works. So last one, so let's go to mod description. And we're going to change this to nutshell. Add it here. So did I put a 1 in there? No, that's an L. Alright, save that. So that's done. Last input for the factory XML, unless I missed something. So you become 17. Fill type. Alright, fix our, add our output. And fix our container. So our output should be done. We're going to add last production line. You are number 17. Alright, so that should be everything for the query storage. Now, I am going to close this a minute. I'm going to close the 110 a minute. I'm going to close the mod description a minute. I don't like the name Query Storage 1, so on all of our container storages, we're going to have to go in and rename everything. So before I change the name of the folder, I just want to look at the store picture. Query container storage, perfect. So we don't have to mess with that. So let's come in here. Let's rename this first to Query Storage Container. All right, now that that's changed, we have to go to our mod description. You become Query Storage Container. I can leave the XML Query Storage 1. Actually, do I want to change that? We should probably change that as well. So let's change this to Query Storage Container. Let's save that. That should be everything for the mod description. Let's go to the 110 and Query Storage 1 gets replaced with Query Storage Container. So let's change all of those. I'll change this. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this on all of them. So this should be the 110 fixed. This has to be renamed to Query Storage Container. So let's save that, and then you get changed. You get changed. Our i3D stays the same. Query Storage 1. I can't change that i3D, so that has to stay. Change this one. And this has to be cap. And then all of these we can replace with quarry storage container. But when I get back to the top, I don't want to change the i3D. Yeah, this one I have to leave. So let's save that. Now I think we are about ready to drop this into the map and give it a quick test. Alright, so I'm going to go to mods, Ritchieville zipped. I'm going to delete, I was messing around with the quarry storage one, so I'm going to delete that. So let's delete this, and we'll zip this back up. Alright, so let's copy that into here. And let's grab Ritchieville zipped, and we'll jump into my test map. And I'm going to probably have to go in and move some vehicles around, because when I built the very first container, the coal container, I did a quick test in game to make sure it worked before I built the rest of the containers. So let's jump into save game 20 is my test map. I no longer have quarry storage 1, that's fine. We should have a new quarry storage container. Right here. Alright, so that's the first good sign. Yeah, this is going to load a little bit slower. I have a pending Windows update. Whenever I have a pending Windows update and I didn't do the restart, my system runs really slow. But the update didn't pop up till I started building containers this morning, so I didn't want to shut everything down and do the restart. So let's jump in here. Let me grab a little bit of speed. And then let's figure out where, yeah, so let's get, this is where I was tested, so let's get this trailer out of the way. And then this is the grain storage. We're going to have to go in and rename this because it's called grain storage 1. I want to rename it grain storage container. This one should be cold storage. It's called cold storage 1. We have to rename it cold storage container. So we got a little bit of XML work to do on that one. And then this one is liquid storage container. So we got to go in and rename that one as well. So I have to delete all these off the map and then put them all back in. So let's grab, let's find the new quarry storage. Right here. Let's throw that down. Alright, let's see. Let me check the log really quick for errors. Make sure no weird Lua errors pop up before we do a lot of testing. Failed to open XML. Okay, so there's something messed up, but the barley containers messed up on the grain storage. So I'll have to go back in and fix that. So that looks like the only thing I have to fix is I messed something up with the barley on the grain storage. No store data found. Let's take a quick peek at that before we test the quarry containers. So grain storage 1. Let's look at the containers. So we have barley container XML, mod description, BAR, it's spelled wrong. Barley container. Alright. So I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to have to zip it up and replace the one that's in the map. But let's check on our quarry storage. Make sure we have coal, sand, gravel, silt, sea salt, stone, ore, copper, nickel. We got something messed up with clay. Compost is good. Gold is good. Alright, so what did we mess up with clay? Alright, let's get out of here without saving and see what I messed up with the clay. Alright, so while we're in here, let us delete this copy. Let's zip the grain storage back up. Let's put that in the mods folder. Replace the one that's in there. So that should get rid of our barley container error. So let's get into our quarry storage and see what I messed up with clay. CLAY container, CLAY container. So the container looks good. Mod description. Did I miss it in here? Nope. CLAY CONTAIN. So it looks good there. Let's check the 110. We have number 10 is clay. I missed it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Missed number 10. So number 10 becomes clay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so that should be good there. And let's just double check the factory XML and make sure we have number 10. Input is clay. We have our output of clay. And then production line 10 should be clay. Alright, so let's delete this and zip it back up. So let's copy that into here. Let's jump back into the test map. Yeah, I know I have no quarry storage 1 because it's been renamed. 1018, good morning, old man. Good morning, 1018. Thanks for stopping in. This should be the last quarry storage container I need to build. I have to go in. I want to go in and rename all of them because I messed the names up when I named them. So that's only a couple minute project. All right, let's get this guy out of the way again. Now I haven't done much testing on any of the container storages. So let's grab, actually let me get out of the way because I'm going to be standing right where I want to place that. So let's grab the quarry storage container again. Let's pop it back down. Alright, so now we should have, clay should now be fixed. Yeah, so clay is now fixed. Alright, so let's test one container. Alright, so let's dump 2 loads of clay in here because these containers spawn out at 1 million liters each. So let's grab some clay. Or doesn't matter which one we grab. Actually right here, gypsum works. Let's grab some gypsum. Dump 2 loads in. Yeah, let's grab one more container as well, or one more load. Alright, let's get this guy out of the way. Actually, no. I need him. Let's put him here a minute. So now we have to wait for our gypsum to move from the input to the output. So let's forward time a little bit. Let's go. That should have moved it. Where are we at? Yep, so our 2 million liters are now in the output. Now we have 2 options on all of the container storages. You can either take out bulk if you don't want to spawn out a 1 million liter container. So I should be able to take bulk back out. Unless I messed up. There we go. Start filling. So we should have all of our product in here. You can take out in bulk. Alright, so that works. If you only want a little bit. So let's dump that back in. Get him out of the way. Now I should be able to spawn out a container of gypsum for 1 million liters. And there is our gypsum container. Let's grab our container trailer. I should have all the fill types in here. I think I put them into the trailer. There we go. So you got your container of gypsum. Let's say I was taking a load over to the drywall factory, so I can grab a load of gypsum. I can grab a load of glue, and I can grab a load of paper. So we can take 1,000,000 liters of gypsum. Let's see if we have any glue in here. Did I pre-fill this when I was testing it? Glue should be a liquid. So glue. Spawn out a container of that. And then if we come over here and spawn out a container of paper, then we could take 1,000,000 liters of each product to your factory and not have to mess with pallets. So there's our glue, our gypsum, and should pick up the paper. Oh, hang on, I got my mom knocking on my door. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Let me make sure. Did I turn my sound back on? Let me just check Streamlabs. Did I turn? Yeah, I turned my sound back on. Alright. My mom's all upset because she's going to visit her sister in the nursing home, and her sister, they just put her in the nursing home, and she doesn't want to be there. So there you have it. So now you can take 1,000,000 liters of different products to whatever factory you want to take them to. I don't have a drywall factory. Well, I do. I'm not going to drive all the way back there. So let's just drop. Let's drop the paper. Well, I got to drop them all. So the paper should go back in here. Let's drop the liquid back in. Actually, do I have the drywall factory on here? We do. Let's go visit that real quick. And it's, you know what? Let's do a quick test. Let's do it. Let's go back to here. Since we're testing, we might as well not take any shortcuts. Let's pop that paper back out, because this will be a good test to see if partial containers go back in the warehouse. So let's pop that paper back out. Let's go pick up that paper. We'll test the trigger. This will also test the triggers at the drywall factory. Alright, so let's head back to Ace Drywall. Yeah, players have been bugging me for these containers for a year, and I just been putting this project off. But now that they're built, that is really awesome, like right there. So let's see if the triggers work at the drywall factory. And we'll see if the partial containers go back into the warehouse. Now it's going to take the full container paper because it was out of paper. Appreciate everybody stopping in today. Alright, now I think the glue goes back here, but let's just come back here. And I'm going to just turn the camera a little bit. I'm just going to hit unload on the trailer and see what it takes. Oh, that did not like that. So it took the paper and it turned my truck sideways. That's not good. I'm wondering if we're going to have to take the weight off of these containers. Where is my strongman super strength? And I'm not going to be able to pick up the containers. That we're going to have to look into to see where we have to adjust the weight. Now, can I get in there? Are you going to give me an attachment, or am I going to have to reset this? Can I push it over? Almost had it. Nope. I'm gonna end up resetting this. Alright, let's do this. Let me grab store delivery mod. I should be able to just reset that. There we go. Now what's left in these containers before I pick them back up? So the glue it didn't take. Gypsum it didn't take, but it did take all the paper because all the paper is now on the shelf. So I'm gonna have to look into, gonna have to do a little bit more testing to see why it flipped my trailer. Now the other trigger should take the glue and the gypsum. So I'm going to try dropping these on the ground instead of unloading them on the trailer. See if that works any better. Alright, filled up the gypsum. Did it take the glue? Yeah, so it took whatever glue it needed, and it took whatever gypsum it needed. Now, is this factory full. It did not take all of the glue because it's probably not on the trigger very well. Okay, why won't you unload? Because you were sitting sideways. So that should take the rest of the glue. Why is it not taking the glue? Where's my... Where is... I'm glad I tested this. This trigger may need to be adjusted a little bit. So you may have to go in and adjust some factory triggers to take the containers. Now, question is, which trigger takes the glue, this one or the back one? I'm pretty sure it's the front one, the one we were just at. I may just go in and change this factory really quick and get rid of the second trigger and just put everything in one trigger. So let me spin my camera around. I want to unload this to the back. Why am I, oh, there we go. Let's see if it's taken the glue from this trigger. Did we take it all? We did not, because the glue is this trigger. So this trigger is going to have to be adjusted. Okay. Why will you not reload? There we go. Right. You took the gypsum. The liquid tank is the same exact palette, just a different cover. It's probably because it's sitting on top of this grate, so I'm going to have to get rid of this grate. So we're probably going to be a map update to make the containers work. Yeah, because you're not taking the glue. Let's go do a quick map update. And see if I need to adjust a trigger. So let's do a quick save. So I'm probably going to have myself or Dixie test the containers with all of the factories. Alright, so let's go to my unzipped version of Ritchieville. Glad I decided to test that drywall factory. Alright, I heard a bling, but I didn't see anything come up in my chat. There we go. Got a new follow. STRWBRIOSS. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Very much appreciated. Alright, so let's take this in a little bit because I don't need this that big. Alright, let's go back to the drywall factory. And I'm not sure why chat is not updating on my phone. Let me check Streamlabs real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't pop up in my chat. Let's come back here to the drywall factory. Let's look at these triggers. Oh, because there's only a pallet trigger here. There's no exact fill route back here. Oh, there is. But there's no pallet trigger back here. Or there is a pallet trigger back here. Alright, so let's do this. Let's get rid of this grate. If I can get the grate. There we go. Now, is that going to mess up any of my i3D mapping? If let's just drop it below the map. Let's do a quick, now let me look at the triggers, see if they need to be adjusted. We should be good now. Let's save this. Alright, while that's saving, let's jump into Ritchieville. I need to go to the mod description. And this is now going to be version 4.6. So we're going to have to do a map. We're going to have to test all of the factory triggers now to see if they accept the containers. Let's close that. Let's go to here. This is my Ritchieville backup folder. I'm going to throw that in the trash. We're going to take this backup, we're going to put it here. We're going to zip this back up. And the other thing we're going to have to test to make these containers work is we're going to have to test all of the placeable factories as well. So I was planning on starting a new project today, but it looks like we're going to be doing a lot of testing and adjusting triggers today. While that's saving, I'm going to go in here and just see if I can refresh the chat. It's not popping up on my phone for some reason. Alright, so let's take Ritchieville and let's pop it into my test folder. Overwrite the one that's in there. Now let's jump back into here. Jump back into save game 20. I have a feeling we're going to end up adjusting a lot of triggers. but I'd rather me be frustrated with triggers not working than release the containers and y'all be frustrated with triggers not working. Alright, let's jump back in here. I'm going to grab a little bit of speed for walking. Let's go find that container now. This is my test map, y'all. It's a mess. I've got vehicles everywhere. We cheat everything in for testing. Alright, so let's drop this container back here. And then let's see if it's going to take the glue this time. Yeah, it has less in it. So there we go. If we filled the glue, we filled the gypsum, we filled the paper. So this trigger will now work. I'm just going to have to we're going to have to test all the factories now. So let's see if these partial containers will go back into the warehouse. And then we'll pick another factory and we'll test it. $10.18, have a great stream, old man, later. Thanks for stopping in, much appreciated. Alright, I'm just going to go cross country. This is our test map. No realistic play today. So our gypsum is a partial container. It should go back into storage. There we go. And then our liquid is a partial container. It should also go back into storage. There we go. So partial containers are going to go back into storage, so that's good. Let's take a quick peek at... That was the drywall factory. Let's take a peek at power cell production. So let's grab some nickel, copper, and plastic. So we're going to have to build a nickel and a copper container. So let's cheat in some nickel and some copper. So we can spawn a container out. Two loads of nickel and then 2 loads of copper. grab some copper. So we're going to have a lot of testing to do on all three maps, Ritchieville, Hollow, and Islands, to make sure these containers work properly. One more load of copper. Alright, let's get this guy out of the way. I need this to move from the output to the input, so I'm going to forward time just a little bit. And then our nickel and our copper should now be, so let's spawn out a copper. Where's my container trailer? Good, here it is. While I'm down here, let's spawn out a plastic. Let's spawn out a plastic. And then let's pick up the copper, we'll spawn out a nickel. You were copper. Oh, let's spawn out a nickel. There we go. So we should have a copper and a nickel on there. Let's grab that plastic. Alright, let's see if the trigger at the battery factory will take the containers. And again, as my test map, we're just going to go cross country, save some time. Oh, I've got some trucks in the way. I was testing this factory earlier with, oh, I added a pallet trigger, so I was testing this trigger. I had to add a pallet trigger when I rebuilt, when I optimize this. Let me get this guy out of the way as well. And eventually I got to come back here and get all these batteries picked up and get them off the map. Alright, now let's test our containers. And I may have to come in and put some ground markers down. Okay, so it took all of the plastic. Copper and nickel is filling. So there we go. So that works. So this factory's fine. Let's go take a peek at the diesel factory. Alright, what do you need? What can we put in here? We could put plastic in here. Oh, we could put coal in. We can grab a coal. I don't think I built silage. I did not build silage into any storage. I did not build silage into a storage because silage will not, the animal pens will not accept a container. So that's why I did not build silage in. But we can grab crude oil, we can grab coal and barley. So crude oil, coal, and barley. Let's test those triggers. So crude oil, coal, and barley. I'm not going to remember that by the time we drive back to the... by the time we drive all the way back. And I know we're going to have to test all of the placeable factories as well. Alright, so crude oil, coal, and barley. So I know we don't have any coal in here yet. So let's cheat some coal in so we can spawn a container out. Let's dump some coal in here. And dump another load in here. And we'll go check the grain storage and see if I have any barley preloaded. So let's check the grain storage. Do we have barley preloaded? We do not. So let's throw some barley in here. So I've not even tested that factory yet either. Alright, so let's throw some barley in here. And we just dump one more in. Let's get this guy out of the way. Now I got to move this product from the input to the output, so I'm going to just speed up time just a little bit. And then I should be able to spawn out a container of barley. Maybe. Okay, where did my barley did not spawn out. Why did our barley not spawn out? I thought we fixed the error with the barley. Let's check the log and see why the barley did not spawn out. Did I get another error with barley? Yeah, the barley container is still messed up. Let's fix that. Let's come in here. Let's do a quick save. And let's get out of here a minute. Let's see what I completely messed this barley container up. I'm having all kind of problems with it. So what did I do to the barley container? Let's go back and look at that error. I3D could not be found because I spelled barley wrong. Alright. So let's open up the grain storage. And let's look at the containers. B-A-R-L-E-Y. B-A-R-L-E-Y. So it's spelled correctly here. B-A-R-L-E-Y. B-A-R-L-E-Y. L-E-Y. That looks better. Let's save that. So the XML is fixed. Let's look at the mod description. B-A-R-L-E-Y, so it's good there. Let's look at the factory. B-A-R-L-E-Y, B-A-R-L-E-Y, so the input's good. Output, B-A-R-L-E-Y, L-E-Y. Spelled correctly there. And let's check the factory. Alright, let's save that. And let's delete this. Zip it back up. Man, if I sent this, Dixie should be yelling at me. Oh, wrong one. Copy. And paste. Alright, now let's go back into the map. I must have been half asleep when I made that barley container. Oh no, y'all, my coffee cup's almost empty. It's gonna be a coffee break here real soon. Yeah, the my son and my son wanted to take me to Hershey Park, but with the COVID cases exploding, I almost don't want to go now. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's come back here. Let's zoom my camera out. All right, so let's see if I can spawn out a barley container now. There we go. Now we have a barley container. Let's grab a coal container. Perfect. And now what else did it need? Where were we? Coal, barley. Oh, I'm not going to remember now. Coal, barley. Oh, crap. All right, we're going to have to go back. Plastic, I think. Yeah, coal. Oh, no, oil. Crude oil. All right, crude oil. Let's spawn out a crude oil. There we go, crude oil. Wow, let's grab these three and make sure the trigger works at the diesel factory. It's going to be so nice taking 3 different products to the factory on one trailer. So we have, yep, we have coal, we have barley, we have crude oil. So far I haven't found any containers that have the wrong product in it. Sneak out between the trees without hitting a car. Now there's 2 different triggers I think for this factory, but I could be wrong. I think the grain and coal go in one trigger and the liquid goes in a separate trigger. Or do we only have one trigger? Let me look at the F5 menu real quick. Oh, no, we should be good. Everything should be in the one trigger. So let's come over this way without getting hit by the train. I said without getting hit by the train. Alright, let's drop these down. And we'll see what happens. Alright, I see the coal filling up. I see the grain filling up. And it took everything. Perfect. since we're back here, let's drive down to the textile mill. All right. Can we bring any containers back here? Plastic we can. Crates we can. Paper. Crate, plastic, paper. Crate, plastic, and paper. Let's test this trigger out. Then I still have to go in and rename all of those factories, which means I have to delete them all off my test map. We don't have to retest them because I'm just changing the name, but I'm going to have to delete them off my test map and put them back down. Probably do that off camera. What did I say we needed? Paper, plastic, and crate. All right, paper. All right, plastic and crate. Crate. And then plastic. So we have plastic, crate, and paper. You know, we may end up having to replace some triggers in some of these maps to make these containers work. Don't dump this thing on its side. All right, where's the trigger down here? I don't play enough to know where all the triggers are. I think all the triggers are over here.